Hi everyone, my name is Catherine Martinez. I'm the Chief Media Director here at Mentally United. Mentally United is a nonprofit organization based in Colorado dedicated to empowering mental wellness through creativity, connection, and of course, storytelling that brings people together. This fall, our team had the joy of attending the Castle Rock Artfest, a tradition 36 years strong that transforms downtown Castle Rock into a walkable celebration of color, culture, and connection. Set against the backdrop of Colorado's open skies and small town charm, this two-day festival welcomes over 100 artists from across the country, showcasing everything from ceramics and hand-blown pottery to bold paintings, mixed media, sculpture, jewelry, and photography. But what makes ArtFest so special goes beyond the art itself. It's the conversation that happens between the booths. It's the moment someone finds a painting that mirrors their own journey. It's the way a child lights up seeing color, texture, and imagination come to life. At Mentally United, we often say that healing doesn't always happen in therapy rooms. Sometimes it happens under string lights in a town square, while listening to live music, sipping lemonade, and talking to a stranger about what moved you.
My name is Jerry Edwards. I'm a watercolorist from Colorado Springs.
I'm Amanda Vela Charbonneau. I'm a digital artist in Denver, Colorado.
My name is Rosemary Hanratty, and this is my first year at Castle Rock.
My name is Pam Ferris, and I'm a vendor here at the Castle Rock Artfest. This is my first year.
I'm Lauren Dale, and I'm an exhibiting artist at the Castle Rock Artfest this year.
In 2013, I bought a book called Drawing on the Right Side of the Brain by Betty Edwards, and I taught myself how to draw, and I've always loved to draw. Started watercolor painting, the actual painting of watercolors during the pandemic. So I've been doing watercolors only for about 5 years now.
Yeah, so I've been painting on an iPad since about 2015. I still use the same 9-inch old iPad and an Apple Pencil in Procreate. And I think, yeah, people are really drawn to the mix of different textures and mediums because I customize the effects in the program to draw with, mainly airbrush, pen, and dry brush. And so I'm able to bring that all together and get a lot of detail as well as have layers of color that show through. And so people, yeah, they do find it very compelling because they don't know what they're looking at. And so then when I explain, I actually painted on an iPad and it's all done by hand, but on a screen, they do find it really interesting and different. So it's fun.
So I have been doing art for years, but I always had to work. So it had to be a hobby. And I was at the Art Students League and really focused on sculpture. And then when I retired a few years ago, I decided to try painting. And I have been painting ever since. And I think as a retiree, it has been life-affirming and life-changing. So it's been really important.
I was an art teacher for 30 years in Jefferson County Public Schools. I just retired a year ago. So I taught 20 years of middle school, 5 years of alternative high school, and 5 years of elementary. And so I've been making art since I was a kid. I found mosaics about 10 years ago. I took a horrible workshop after the workshop, I just trashed what I had. And then about a year later, I'm like, I think I can do better. And I started with some dollar store glass and some Scrabble tiles and made something pretty cool.
I've been painting, I've been doing art my whole life and painting, but I graduated last year from MSU in Denver, and I've been a full-time studio artist for only a few months now. I tried teaching for a while and it wasn't for me, so I decided to go back to doing what I always wanted to do, which was painting.
I think art by its nature brings people together. It's a hard thing for most people to focus on with so much other media around. but to slow down, take a look at some art, so walk around with some neighbors. Castle Rock's always had a strong feeling of community when I was here. And I think this is one of those things that just continues to make it feel that way, and art soothes with everything that's going on around us nowadays.
Well, this festival is wonderful because there are hundreds of amazing artists here from all over the country, and it's just a wonderful community when you see your friends, artists from another state every year at the same festival, and you get to catch up with them, see how their year was, and then also meet people here in Castle Rock that enjoy art and want to learn about your process, or they get to tell you about what's interesting about your work or how they feel about it. And what I love about art is it brings two minds together. You know, when someone enjoys your art or has an experience with it or purchases it and wants to take it home, you're forever connected with that person through what you created. And so it's really wonderful to just get to be out here, meet people, and connect.
Well, first of all, I have to say I'm so impressed with Castle Rock. It's just so charming. But I have seen lots of different people, all walks of life, and different languages. You wouldn't believe how many different languages I've heard as people walk by. So I think it's really interesting and surprised me a little, because you expect that from an urban area and not so much from a more suburban community. Everybody appreciating art, so I think it's very exciting.
Well, I think I've talked to people from Elizabeth and Parker and Castle Rock and all over. And today there was also the farmers market, which drew in kind of a different crowd of people too.
There's over 100 artists here, and so it's just a ton of art packed into a tiny area. So I think just the fact that everyone can come out and just wander around and hopefully find something that appeals to them brings a ton of people together.
For me, it allows me to connect with nature. I work inside most of the time, but I grew up on a farm, and my paintings reflect my love for the outdoors. And for me, just that feeling of being around nature, bringing that in to my environment, enhancing my environment and color and texture and feel. It's just so much more than so much harsh advertising that we get. And so painting for me is also a very big form of mental, for me, that the mental comfort I get, I'm thinking of the right word, is with painting, it allows me to slow down and think about what's important sometimes.
So my background is I am a recovering drug addict and alcoholic, and so art was a big part of me immersing myself into a routine and a habit and an activity that wasn't getting high. So it's contributed to my wellness journey quite a bit. It's been essential to my recovery, that, and of course my spiritual journey, getting to know God, getting saved by Jesus Christ. These are all things that have come together in my life to make me well and make me whole, and I'm just so grateful to be here and to be able to share that with other people.
Oh yeah. Well, so my last few years were middle school, 20 years of middle school, and I'd have kids that they were a disaster in the regular classes, but they'd come to art class, and that's where they could shine. That's where they got to, use their emotions and, use some skills they had. So they'd be flunking all their other classes, but they'd be acing art class. Their parents would prefer that they actually did well in their other classes. And my final term, I actually got to pick an advanced class. And so I picked the skater who had gotten in trouble for tagging. I got the girl who was in and out of a psych ward. I had the girl that was a cutter. I had all these kind of fringe kids in there, and they got to choose their projects, and I got to hand pick them for a class.
Yeah, I think art is the most meaningful way for me to meet people who I connect with and to build friendships. I'm not from Colorado originally, so getting to come here and join the art community has been like crucial in building relationships for me. Especially because like I have some different mental health things that I deal with, like depression and autism. So being able to talk to people about art is one thing I can connect with people on, and it's just like the most important community to me, I would say.
Just do it. Just do it. I do believe that everybody can do art. I really do. And those that have a passion for it may take it a little bit more, but everybody can benefit from doing their own artwork.
If you're drawn to it and have a desire, I would say go for it. To be able to express yourself in just a in a way that, you know, takes no investment. It's just for you and your paper or your iPad. You know, you might find something really valuable in it, and so I'd say just see and find out if it is a blessing to you.
Most artists, they actually have a reference photo, so they're not painting, thinking it up and trying to get it on canvas. They're taking something that is referential and recreating it. So just start there and see how you do. And by the way, it doesn't have to look exactly like the photo. It has to look like the imagination in your head of what the photo should look like. So just get started.
Kids naturally make art till about 10 years old, and then something switches off and they're like, I'm not good enough, I'm not an artist. But I would like parents to think of art as just like a sport. Like, parents will go out there and they will support their kids with sports and go to their games and stuff. For a kid that likes art, we need you to go out there and be their cheering section, whether it be they show in a show or even if they just made something that's really incredible on social media. It needs to be treated the same as a sport.
I think the hardest part is starting, which is probably true for anything. Just try, maybe find like a subject that you think is fun, even if it's like a loved one or one of your favorite places that you like to go to. And you could just keep it simple. You can have like 3 different colors or even 2 different colors and just see what comes out. People can get really intimidated by like oil paints, which is my favorite. But if you go online, there's so many good resources to learn, and it's honestly not as hard as it seems. You just have to try. You learn by trying.
What we witnessed here is what we've always known, that art is a way in. It helps us access emotions that we've tucked away. It gives us permission to pause. It brings us back to ourselves, to each other, and to the present moment. And in a world that constantly urges us to do more, move faster, keep going, events like these, they remind us just how essential it is to just be. We're incredibly grateful to the Castle Rock Chamber of Commerce for continuing to create a space where art is not only celebrated, but also made accessible, and to every artist who showed up with courage, creativity, and the spirit of sharing. If you're ever feeling overwhelmed or disconnected, consider wandering through your local art scene. Go visit a gallery, attend a festival, doodle in a notebook, paint something that just makes no sense, just because it feels good. Because art just doesn't hang on walls, but it heals hearts too. And from all of us at Mentally United, thank you for sharing this experience with us. We'll see you at the next event. Stay creative, stay connected, and like always, stay united.